The Believer's Guide, an introduction to Surah Al-Mu'minun. Surah Al-Mu'minun, meaning the believers, is a beautiful chapter in the Quran. It is named after the repeated mention of those who have faith in Allah. This surah was revealed in Mecca. This means it was revealed before the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, migrated to Medina. Surah Al-Mu'minun has 118 verses. It focuses on the core beliefs of Islam. These include the oneness of Allah, the Day of Judgment, and the importance of good character. It also talks about the stories of past prophets. This reminds us that Allah always sent guidance to help people. This surah is like a guide for believers. It tells us how to live our lives in a way that pleases Allah. It also gives us hope in the hereafter. The surah's message is timeless. It is as relevant today as it was when it was first revealed. Trials of the early believers. Context of the first 11 verses. The early Muslims in Makkah faced many difficulties. They were persecuted for their beliefs. Their own families and communities rejected them. The first 11 verses of Surah Al-Mu'minun were revealed in this context. These verses offer comfort and reassurance to the believers. They highlight the characteristics of true believers. They are described as those who are humble in their prayers, stay away from useless talk, and fulfill their promises. These verses reminded the early Muslims that their struggles were not in vain. Allah was aware of their sacrifices. He would reward them for their patience and steadfastness. The verses served as a source of strength and motivation. They helped the believers to stay firm in their faith despite the opposition they faced. The power of prayer, unveiling verses 1 and 2. The first two verses of Surah Al-Mu'minun are very powerful. They declare that the believers will be successful. Allah then describes the characteristics of these successful believers. The very first characteristic mentioned is those who are humble in their prayer. These verses were revealed with a specific context. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his companions were praying near the Kaaba. The pagans of Makkah who rejected their message started disturbing them. They made noise and mocked their prayers. These verses were a reminder to the Muslims that true prayer is not just about outward actions, it's about humility and focus. True believers are not distracted by the whispers of shaitan or the insults of disbelievers. They find peace and solace in their connection with Allah. Ummah's transformation, the impact of verses 12 to 14, verses 12 to 14 of Surah Al-Mu'minun talk about the creation of human beings. They describe the stages of development from a single cell to a fully formed human. These verses are a testament to the power and wisdom of Allah. These verses had a profound impact on Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the most influential companions of the Prophet. Before accepting Islam, Umar was known for his strong opposition to the Muslims. One day he set out to confront the Prophet. On his way, he heard his sister reciting these verses from Surah Al-Mu'minun. The powerful words describing the creation of man touched his heart. He was amazed by the eloquence and truth of the Quran. This experience led him to seek out the Prophet and embrace Islam. Qualities of the Faithful, a portrait from Surah Al-Mu'minun. Surah Al-Mu'minun paints a beautiful picture of the believers. It outlines their character, actions, and relationship with Allah. They are described as those who are humble in prayer, give charity, guard their chastity, and fulfill their trusts. The surah emphasizes the importance of both inward and outward righteousness. True believers are not only pious and God-conscious, but they also deal justly with others, keep their promises, and avoid harmful speech. This surah reminds us that faith is not just about rituals and beliefs, it is about embodying virtuous qualities in our daily lives. It is about being a source of goodness and benefit to ourselves and those around us. A timeless message, guidance from Surah Al-Mu'minun. Surah Al-Mu'minun is a powerful reminder of the essential teachings of Islam. It guides believers towards a life of purpose and meaning. The surah's message is timeless, relevant to people of all times and places. By reflecting on the stories behind its revelation, we can deepen our understanding of its message. We can learn from the examples of the early believers. We can strive to embody the qualities of the faithful described in this beautiful surah. Let us make the teachings of Surah Al-Mu'minun a part of our lives. Let us strive to be among those who earn the title of Al-Mu'minun, the believers.